Welcome to Inside ELAS, the podcast where we explore how AI is transforming the way we do literature reviews. I'm your host Josien, and with me is ASReview founder and AI expert Rens van Josien. Each episode we talk to researchers, students and practitioners about their experiences using AI-assisted screening with ASReview. The highs, the hurdles and everything in between. Whether you're deep into systematic reviews or just curious about how an algorithm ended up helping with your reading list, you're in the right place. And today's a special episode because we will look back to all the conversations we had with ASReview users, students, practitioners, and see what we learned from that and how it inspires us, to do different systematic reviewing in the future. What's your first thing that's really struck you, Rens? Because you know all of these persons, you know all of their projects, but what's one thing that you think, okay, we should really speak more about?
Yeah, I think what struck me most is that these people, these users are so happy with the software because somehow we're turning the most boring part of a systematic review into the most fun part.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first episode where we discussed a screenathon and some time ago, we actually organized a screenathon and people were screening at the pool and chatting together. And then they were done in a couple of hours.
And that was your first dream, right? In the first...
It was my first dream.
Prequel was like, okay, I want the kind of Tinder for abstracts, for reviewing.
Yeah.
And you actually saw it live, right?
Yeah. So and it really works. So not only on your mobile phone, but... Yeah, so screening is a very boring task, and many boring tasks can be replaced by using machines. And you can see that in the systematic review field, most users are not ready for an LLM to take over.
Yeah, you don't want only to give the control to the machine.
No, because you're an expert, right? So even if you're a PhD student or a practitioner or a medical guideline specialist, you want to read the most important papers, even though they are not really relevant for your research question. Even if they're closely related, you still want to read those.
Yeah, but that's sometimes I find irrelevant papers because they are, for example, also reviews.
Yes.
But they are very interesting reads for my introduction, for my discussion, or even to stay up to date. I mean, I might even use ASReview just to stay up to date. So I thought of maybe I can send out some automatic queries, maybe using an LLM, to compile them for me each month or each 3 months. Because honestly, I don't know how to keep up with all the literature and the amount of, crappy articles that come in predatory journals or even in very highly esteemed journals. You see that the quality is sometimes disputable. So... yeah, how to survive in this jungle.
But it's not only quality of the data. I mean, we've also discussed with information specialists that it is also transparent and open reporting. Or the previous episode where Rutger explained that reproducing a search but simply replicating the search is just not enough because so many things change over time.
And publishers also now change what they publish, right? So I heard like some journals don't publish the abstracts anymore or some databases. Do you know about that?
Yeah, no, I don't know. But yeah, so the thing is, So
that makes it harder to be found by an LLM, but also by a reviewer who wants to find that article.
Yeah.
If the abstract is not indexed anymore, just the title, how would I know if it's relevant?
No, you don't. Yeah. No. And don't forget, there's a lot of money in the system of academic publishing, right? I mean, it's not something we do for free. There's a lot of companies, a lot of benefits, a lot of gains, a lot of power play also.
Yeah.
But I think that in all these episodes, I think the transparency was discussed often. Also team efforts.
Yeah.
So normally a systematic review is a very lonely task. I mean,
we heard Bruno. He did it manually on his own, seeing himself.
For
he
months.
Was a superhero, sure, but it was a solitary endeavor, right?
Yeah. So remember, he also had this caveman on the back of his shirt.
Yeah.
So he really felt like locked in a cave, trying to read all those papers, which is a completely different task than like a screenathon. But a screenathon is a huge event where you have 30, 40 people working together. But then you're done. I mean, in the last screenathon, I think in 2 days, people screened 6,000 abstracts.
But it was for several reviews, right?
Yeah, it was actually for 11 different systematic.
Yeah.
So we worked on 11 different systematic reviews with a group of 30 or 40 people next to the swimming pool on the beach.
Yeah, like
Or-
2 days and using active learning this time, right?
Using
It's
active
different.
learning, yeah. And what is also very important, also Rutger explained it, and also Kinus and Elena, the quality checking is also important, right? I mean, if we turn
can
systematic...
we trust all these 30 people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in an old-fashioned systematic review, we have screening fatigue.
Yeah.
I mean, you've published several systematic reviews yourself, so you know that you become tired, right?
Yeah.
Now we have a fun aspect. So maybe screening is too much fun? I don't know.
Yeah, because you want to get maybe you even have a prize for the one who screened most records, but then it might reduce the quality. Yeah, who knows? But I thought, what could be ways to introduce this screenathon idea even in smaller setting? Like many PhD students start their PhD trajectory with a review.
Yeah.
They don't know everything about doing a review, but they can learn about that. They're very lowly. They're not total expert yet in the field. That's why they want to do this review, to learn more about it. So I thought, how long would a mini screenathon take? If it takes 2 days for 30 researchers to do 11 reviews, so to say, how long would it take if you have like maybe 3 to 4? Maybe the PhD students, 2 fellow PhDs, and 1 or 2 of the supervisors. It would be so great. You already directly discuss the inclusion-exclusion criteria, your doubts. So you do already a lot of the theoretical work as a group. So I thought it would be a fun idea to try that out and see, maybe it takes 4 hours, I don't know, or 8.
Yeah, I know that many
Who
groups
knows?
organize these kind of writing weeks or retreats.
Yeah, so
You
screening retreat.
A screening retreat. Well, I think
But then
if
you need many people who are working on reviews at the same time.
not necessarily. I mean,
No?
even if you are in a small research group with your supervisor, you as a PhD student, and maybe 1 or 2 others,
Yeah.
or even together. I mean, if the 2 of us would do a systematic review, why not do it together?
to make it more
then
fun.
sit here in the same room and discuss. Hey, this paper, Josien, what do you think? And then. So we skip the iterative reliability. We skip the whole idea
Yeah, it's
of
not
working
needed
in
anymore,
silos, but just
Yeah.
do it together.
Because I thought if both of the persons have seen like most of the inclusions, maybe checked each other's exclusions, why do we need iterative reliability? That is what it's all about, right?
I think it's old-fashioned way of looking at a systematic review.
To
I
do
think
it truly independently. I was like, actually, in my own review, we were not totally independent,
you always
we
discuss
had-
things, right?
but that's not bad. Why would that be a problem? That would only make the decisions better. If you, during the process, discover, that should be included, maybe we should change our criteria just a little bit.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
if you do it in the end, I mean, you would also have these discussions. So
And-
it's about
yeah.
not doing it alone, right? Not relying
And
on one
this is it.
person.
It's
That's
team
what
science.
It's about. It's team.
It's team science. And I
Yeah.
think if you turn systematic review into team science, so what I see now is that people sit together, they discuss in the calibration session the inclusion criteria, and while they're doing that, they already screen the first batch of, 10, 20 papers.
Yeah.
Most likely the truly relevant ones or the most difficult ones. When you label those together and you discuss the inclusion criteria, you become more knowledgeable about the research topic. You can do the same thing not only with PhD students, but also for medical guideline developments. You can invite the experts for a retreat day and then sit together, work on it together, discuss it.
And you get a little bit of grip already on the amount of available literature on that specific topic. Because I tried it out with my colleague Bo now for a new review. So I thought, okay, I'll just screen like 100 records using active learning or 200, and we discuss those.
Yep.
Because I can select the 10 key papers, but those are so easy to label.
Yep.
They will be relevant, but we want these edge cases. And she came back to me, she's like, Josien, I doubt about every single one of them. I was like, okay, that's perfect. Now we sit together and discuss them. And then together we refine the inclusion, exclusion criteria. And now I'm happy to start screening, maybe independently, or we organize a type of screenathon.
Yep.
There will be always doubts and edge cases you didn't think of up front, right?
No, and the thing is, I can still remember, Josien, when we met, you were just doing this old-fashioned review, and I convinced you to start using ASReview. You were so happy, and then a couple of weeks later, you came to our AI lab, and you just told me, like, Rens, I'm so disappointed because I'm only seeing the most difficult paper. So you promised me a lot of time gain.
Yeah.
And there was no time gain because
now? Screening fatigue. I'm so tired. And I only get 10 papers in an hour. Well, Katelijn says, I can do 200 in an hour. I was like, It's impossible. If you do the full text, you see all these edge cases. It's very cognitively demanding.
Yeah, but the entire screening process has changed. So instead of seeing irrelevant papers for most of the time, now you're seeing the most likely relevant records. Yeah. And what we see now is that people immediately do the title abstract inclusion. They read the full text. Even if you have to buy the full text, I mean, you can do that because you only have to buy or get the most likely relevant PDFs, read those, go back to the system, maybe do the data extraction. I mean, you can add text in the system, so you can also do the data extraction, and you're done.
When the criteria are clear enough. So often when I start out with this kind of reviews, if it's for an official review or just for an intro for a new article, it's still a little bit vague at the start of the project. That's natural, right? You're still exploring what I'm going to do. Then it would be a pity if you spend too much time reading articles, extracting data from not relevant articles. So what do you think about the combination? So to say, first you do like old school title abstract just to get grip on what is in our pool, what did we catch, like fishing, and then maybe you start over again using the identified relevant records, and then you go like doing full text and title abstract together. Yeah,
this is one approach. Another approach would be as a person to combine it, read the abstract, include it, read the full text, do the data extraction all at once. What you can also do, and that's what we did in the last screenathon event, we had some people screening the abstracts. They were just constantly screening abstract. We had someone else who was more knowledgeable going through the included abstracts. This person read the full text, corrected the label if it was wrongly included. Yes. And the AI model is constantly updated because it always takes the latest information. So we had two people at work, one just going through the abstracts, one person actually reading the full text and correcting the wrongly included labels.
Was the advice to the screeners to be inclusive? So if you doubt, include it, and the other person will check it.
They were constantly giving feedback like, okay, now you have to be more strict because I see that you're including, I don't know, topic A too much. Yeah. Focus more on topic B.
Yeah, so it was like
so there was a constant interaction and
game master. Maybe we should call it the game master.
Exactly. yeah.
Because I can imagine that when you screen on your phone, which is awesome, but that works well if you just have title abstracts. Yeah. I mean, reading full text, I mean, that's not my favorite thing to do on a mobile phone.
No, but if you do it, if you combine everything in 1 week, you can do abstract screening, full text screening, data extraction all at once, right? So it's just a
and it doesn't have to be the same person. That's also nice because it can be nice to be in a certain flow of irrelevant, relevant.
Yeah, and the same for full text screening. I mean, go to the full text, search for the full text, find it, buy it, get it. I don't know,
that's kind of a routine thing, and it's nice to do. For efficiency wise.
Yeah, but you can do it all together at the same time if you have ASReview running up a server, right? So it's easy.
Yeah, and in terms of transparency, when working like 30 people, are there any new features coming up that will make it easier to also be transparent about these labeling decisions, about the roles of all the people?
Yeah, so in version 1, we already stored all the human information and the machine learning information. So in version 2, we go one step further. So next to storing all that information and the labeling decision, we also store who made the label. Yeah. We also store, was the label changed by whom?
Ah, nice.
So you have to, so you can go back in the entire history of the screening.
It will be hard
procedure.
to replicate, but you can log it.
Yeah,
but that's the history of the decision.
But there's a difference between transparency and reproducibility. So what do you want to reproduce? Do you want to reproduce the entire process of a systematic review? No. You want to reproduce the start and the end. That's what you want to reproduce, and you want to be transparent on the process in between, so that we can check and challenge all the decisions.
And is there a risk of wrongly excluded papers?
Yeah, so that's also what we discussed in the episode about the noisy label filtering procedure. So after you're done, you still want to do some quality checking, right? Yeah. Just like in the old-fashioned way of systematic reviewing, there's a quality check. So you can check the excluded papers by someone who is knowledgeable, and you ask this person to go through the exclusions one more time, or all of them, or maybe using active learning, depending on how many exclusions there are.
Exactly.
The same for the unseen paper.
During the process, you can do the included articles will be checked with the full text by an expert, for example, or by yourself if you are the expert yourself. And the excluded will be checked the same way by you if you're the expert, or a third person, that would be better.
Same for the unseen paper. So in the episode with Jonathan, he was also brainstorming about using an LLM. You can also ask an LLM to go through all the not seen papers.
Exactly.
To get some recommendations.
Then it's an added layer. So it's not replacing the human.
Exactly.
It's actually, okay, those we were not seen.
Double check.
Let's double check.
Yeah.
And maybe the LLM comes with 100 out of the 3,000
Then you just check
unseen.
another 100 papers. Well,
and maybe using active learning, maybe not.
Yeah.
So I think we talk more about a compound, like hybrid intelligence. We have the
Hybrid
human,
intelligence.
we have the AI from ASReview, and we have like generative AI through large language models, which could supplement that to increase the quality.
Like a super assistant.
Yeah.
So I think that the human becomes more expert.
Yeah, or should become. Huh?
Should
so
become
our
more
expertise development should be key in being a reviewer is your content knowledge, right?
Yeah, so the human should be the oracle.
Yeah.
The oracle making the oracle decision. It should still be the human. At least that's what I strongly believe.
You can get advice from an LLM. And even within a group, you say there are different levels of expertise. And you can distribute the roles according to the expertise, right?
Exactly.
So be smart. Not have the most knowledgeable person screen like all the abstracts, but give him or her the like edge cases, for example.
Exactly. And I could also foresee if you work, for example, on medical guidelines or food safety guidelines, that you do the most of the screening internally and that you ask experts from the field, physicians or real experts who hardly have any time. But if you ask them, okay, can you check these 10 papers or these 20 papers? And just do it on your mobile phone, right?
Yeah.
And probably they will also love to read those papers because they're very close to the research question.
That's so nice. And it's even more collaborative.
I think so.
By distributing the work, right?
But distributing the work and also asking the expert to be an expert instead of going through all those records that are noise.
Yeah, so that could be a nice thing for the future, to distribute all the included or excluded to specific persons to see, can you just check?
That's exactly what the new version is all about, right? So that you have this AI agent, well, it's actually sort of a distributing system. You can call it an AI agent that is actually distributing the records now randomly to people, but maybe in the future we could also attach certain, expertise level or some
to the users
characteristics.
And then say, okay, this type of... Yeah. Well, that's about the future. I think, thinking about the future, we have a lot of stickers, of course. We talk about it each episode, but Rens, what's the story of all these stickers? We have a very nice one with all kind of stars on it and lollipops.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Who makes all these stickers?
Yeah, so it all started with Joukje Willemsen, who was also a student working in our AI lab, and she approached me like, "Hey, Rens, I want to contribute." And then I asked her, "What are your skills?" And then she said, "I like drawing." I said, "Hey, can you then maybe start drawing ELAS?" And that was actually the very start of it. But it's an open source project, so people can contribute. So we have had Jelle in one of the episodes, and he created all these AI-generated variations of ELAS. And here, so this one is the famous one by Bruno, the caveman still. And this is really an honor to be the caveman in a project, right? So,
do we already have Mona Lisa ELAS?
No, we don't have Mona Lisa. We will put it on the list for you. And the cool thing is that rugby. So this was developed for my children because they play rugby. So that's in the. But we also have some here. So this is one of my favorite ones. This is a unicorn, and this one was actually drawn by a 10-year-old, one of the children of people in our group, Mirjam van Zuiden. And one of her children actually draw the lollipop and the lion and the unicorn,
so nice.
And contributed this on GitHub. How cool! I mean, as a 10-year-old,
you're digital competence.
Exactly, super cool. And then we have people like Laurens, who started as a master thesis, a student in AI. So he was really eager to actually do AI projects, and then he ended up with developing a panda sticker and working in Excel. Don't tell him that I told you that he's actually was mostly working in Excel as a...
Nobody is hurt. Nobody is hurt. Don't tell anyone.
No.
Yeah. That brings us to the end of this episode of Inside ELAS. This was also the last episode of this season. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with your fellow researchers, supervisors, or that one colleague who still screens everything manually. For more stories, updates and insights, follow us and stay tuned. ELAS can't wait to expand its community, making its little digital heart positively pulsing in binary with joy.